Man cranky because woman who had a traumatizing experience in the Navy doesn't want to talk about it. Another man cranky, but this one's actually rather legit. The golden standard for becoming the dad who only gets to see their child on weekends. And the most insane escalation over breaking up with someone because of milk. A warning with this one, there's an attempt, just gonna wait for YouTube to get past the certain second threshold of murder. Hello, you snacks. Welcome back. My name is Jack. Yes, that's a thing that's probably gonna happen in today's story, so buckle up, buttercup. Anyway, let's go. Am I the a-hole for falsely accusing a veteran of stolen valor when she couldn't give any details about her service? I serve as a captain in the Marine Corps. I'm a 34-year-old male and have left the service, and right now I am doing an MBA. One of my classmates, who's 31 female, who we'll call Jay, is very gentle, very soft-spoken, and unassuming. Jay and I were working together on a case study once. I start opening up to her about my military service and all the lessons that I've learned from the Corps. Jay enthusiastically told me, "That's so cool. I was a surface warfare officer in the Navy." And sadly, this makes the OP go, "What? You share my unique personality trait that I use to define myself? I don't like that." He goes on to say, "I immediately felt suspicious about this claim. As I said, Jay is very demure, and she doesn't really have the bravado that is required in the military environment. At least, I feel like a certain amount of bravado is required." I still humored her and began asking about the details of her military experience, where she deployed, what courses she went through, what ship she served on, etc., etc. Suddenly, Jay got all tight-lipped, and she couldn't say anything specific about military life. She kept making excuses along the lines of, "Just wasn't a good period of my life, and I'd rather not talk about it." Eventually, I felt like I had done enough snooping around, and I bluntly told her that she was bullshmitting, and that I'd rather not work with a phony. I talked about this experience with my friend M at our school's veterans organization. I told M to be wary of anything Jay says. M responded by telling me that Jay did serve. He's been saying her paperwork and ID and everything, and that in fact, one of her MBA recommendation letters was written by a retired Rear Admiral who held Jay in high regard. Whoops. This is why OP's work experience is in the Navy and not as a detective. The next time I met Jay, before our classes started, I tried to act chummy towards her and make up for accusing her of being a liar. She laughed in my face and told me to pound sand, pulley. And for those of you who don't know, yes, she was being derisive here. Am I the a-hole? Now, some people are supportive. This comment here says, "I'd have been suspicious too. Why bring up your service, then get tight-lipped and say you don't want to talk about it? You brought it up, not the a-hole." Which is very valid. I mean, it's not like the Navy is an intense workplace that has no HR and is a very unsafe environment in general. Sporadically trapped in a metal cocoon with a bunch of men for months on end? As a woman? Only the best of times could be had. Most popular thoughts, though, say, "You're a prior service officer and couldn't think of any reasons why someone would either not want or otherwise not be able to talk about what they did while they were in?" Sounds about right. You are the a-hole. Well, by judging this post, I feel like OP tells people he's military when they don't even ask. "Hi, I'm OP. I was a captain in the Marines."
Sir, this is a McDonald's. I just want to take your order.
Probably the type to say, "You're welcome for my service," unprompted. "Hi, I'm Veteran Mike. Nice to meet me." Thing is, the whole thing of stolen valor is absolutely an a-hole thing to do. And hey, there's nothing wrong with being suspicious. It's just wrong when you be accusatory, which OP did here. They could have just kept their mouth shut, waited till they chat with M, and then gotten all the proof to be like, "Oh, okay, I guess I was wrong to suspect them." You could have just kept it in, but no, you just had to do an Elsa.
Damn it, Marine! This is why you're not allowed to watch Disney movies in training camp!
Over to our next story. Am I the a-hole for not supporting my girlfriend's sister? This circumstance is interesting because it's already labeled not the a-hole. But tell me, if you were making a comfortable $150,000 a year and you had an extended family member who was severely struggling, would you not be an a-hole for refusing to help them out when they needed it? Onto the story. Some info. I have been with my girlfriend, 27 female, for 5 years. She loves her sister a ton, which is a good thing, as I believe supporting and helping your younger siblings, as long as it doesn't ruin your own life. You will understand why I say this later on. We just put down a mortgage on a house in the suburbs of a large city. I, 28 male, work in tech as a software developer with a master's degree in computer science. I make quite a lot of money, so money issues never arose. My girlfriend doesn't work and does chores and cooking in the house. Both agreed on this. I was gonna propose to my girlfriend next year, but a problem arose about 2 years ago. For the last 2 years, probably longer, my girlfriend has been sending money to her younger sister, let's call her Emily. Emily got pregnant at 20 years old. Emily works as a waitress. The father is bouncing from job to job. Emily says that he is very lazy. He will disappear for hours at a time without telling Emily where he's going or what he's doing. Emily has asked my girlfriend on several occasions for money. My girlfriend, being the nice and sweet person she is, says yes all the time. It started off as paying for diapers, no problem. Then baby clothes, which also no problem. Then daycare, which I just brushed off. I talked with girlfriend saying we can't always pay for everything and that helping out for a couple of things is okay, but not everything. Girlfriend reassured me and said that it would be stopping soon once they get their feet picked up, which is fine. But here's where the cookie crumbles. One day I hire a financial planner. The next day I get an email saying my account has sent approximately $50,000 for the last 10 months and have around $20,000 sitting in my account. I talk with my girlfriend and she apologizes and says she knew that I wouldn't want to keep sending her sister money and how she just cares about her sister. We've been paying for everything. Insurance, rent, car payment, daycare, clothing for all three, dinners, dates, going out, expenses. It is partly my fault because I never checked my bank account. My girlfriend shows me text messages between her and Emily saying she needs the money. I then noticed a pattern where Emily would say,
Hey, can you send me money? I don't have money for this.
and of course girlfriend says yes. I brush it off and girlfriend says she won't send any more. The next day, girlfriend sends her $1,000 because they needed car repairs. I talk with my girlfriend and we get into an argument where she says she will always help her sister no matter what. I understand to an extent. We are arguing, trying to understand each other's point of view. As stated before, we had $20,000 and now we're down to $19,000. And then how about the next time? And the next time after that? On top of our own expenses? Girlfriend then decided that she needs some time alone and that she will be at her mother's for the time being. Now I'm all alone in the house. I thought I would live with the girl of my dreams. So am I the a-hole for arguing with my girlfriend for caring about her sister too much? So I'm personally in that spectrum of thought that believes this money is for their family, for their relationship. Madam, if you've agreed that he's the one getting all the money as long as you do all the household stuff, then I'm sorry, but you can't just be giving this money away as if it's entirely yours to say so. Just like he can't be giving the money straight away to any family members so excessively without, checking in with you about what both of your financial plans are. This isn't a case of, he works, so he gets to decide what to do with the money. It's a case of, you're not both talking about what you're doing with your money that you both use. But OP has the respect to actually inform us of his girlfriend's side of things, which does paint a better picture. So I make around $150,000 a year as a lead software developer. As someone who has no kids, dogs, or any major responsibility besides my girlfriend and I never checked my account. She comes from a cultural family where family is everything and money is just paper. She texted me earlier saying how it should always be family first and that money didn't mean anything without family and how we should help close family like siblings in their time of need. At this point, I told her I needed time to myself and told her not to come back until I'm ready to talk. I apologize if my sentences aren't making sense as whiskey is my only friend right now. I also forgot to mention, we started dating before all this money came into play, so I trusted her. Another edit, I'm more sad by the betrayal than the money. Money will come back, but time will never come back. 5 whole years. My proposal plan, my life plan, my future kids I dreamt about with her, just gone. All the things we've said to each other, all the late night wine drunk times we spent, all the dates, all the flowers I gave her. I really tried with all my power to be the best man she can have. I would have trusted her with my life. And what do I get back? $50,000 gone. Now, it's a shame that OP actually gave her side of the story in a respectful way at first, because in the update we learned that, maybe she was just a bit of an entitled brat. Final update, she is now my ex. We met at a local coffee shop and I told her that things wouldn't work out for us and she went absolutely ballistic. Caused a scene begging me not to end it. Did hurt me to see her like this, but after a couple of weeks to give it some thought, I would not want a wife who was a liar and one I couldn't trust financially. I left a $100 bill on the table and left, but she followed me down to my car. She begged and told me she wouldn't send any more money to her sister and how she would do anything for us to be together. It was hard, but I stayed strong. Picked up her belongings the other day, and I almost had to call the cops because she wouldn't leave. She first tried everything from intimate favors, begging, crying, then it turned to screaming that I ruined her life, to even saying without her, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am now because of her support. I stayed strong, and when she left, I just broke down sobbing. For those wondering, I'm not gonna press charges because all I want for her is to leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want to ever see her face again. The money will come back as it's just me, a house, and 2 paid off cars. It does get lonely, so I'm thinking of getting a puppy, a Doberman for those wondering. Thank you everyone for all the suggestions, and a lot of you really had me thinking about my decisions, and I definitely learned a lot of valuable lessons. Goodbye and thank you. So what do you think then? You think he made the right decision here, putting his foot down, or do you think he was just being a bit too stickly with his money? After all, again, they've got the mortgage all fine, they've got 2 paid off cars. Meanwhile, ex-girlfriend's sister was literally struggling to afford her own child. Let me know your thoughts below. In the meantime, hey, have you got pregnancy pain? Well, why don't you just not have them, you idiot? Such is the mindset in this man's story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that I'm not going to drop everything to take her to the hospital anytime she feels any discomfort? He says at the top here, in italics, I'll try to remain as least biased as I can. And oh boy, does he fail to do so. I'm a 27 male and my girlfriend, 21 female, are expecting our first baby at the beginning of May. This pregnancy has been nothing short of chaotic. My girlfriend has never experienced pregnancy, and she's terrified to give birth. So any feeling of discomfort, she freaks out. I understand that pregnancy is hard and scary, and my girlfriend doesn't have her family around to help her, so she's probably experiencing a lot of anxiety. I'm not trying to downplay that. I'm frustrated because I feel like she's taking advantage of the fact that she can get me to do things for her just because she's pregnant. We got into a fight a few days ago. She insisted that she didn't feel good, and she thought something was wrong with the baby. She wanted to go to the hospital to make sure everything was okay. We've been to the hospital for this kind of emergency for almost 4 times since the beginning of her pregnancy. I had to go to work because we are severely understaffed, so I told her that if she still didn't feel good tonight, we could go make sure everything was okay. She got upset with me, and she told me that I never take her pain seriously. I told her that I can't drop everything anytime she feels any discomfort. Pregnancy is uncomfortable. We argued some more, then I left for work. When I got home, I asked if she was feeling better, but she wouldn't tell me. She has stopped talking to me about her pregnancy now, and I feel like she is being manipulative. She's withholding information about my child because I didn't drop everything to make or take her to the hospital again. I tried explaining to her my side of things, and I apologized, but she's still mad at me. My girlfriend is treating me like I'm the a-hole, but I feel like she isn't seeing how frustrated and tired I am from dropping everything for her. Am I the a-hole? Oh my god, man. Before I even need to bother going into the comments, okay, lads, gentlemen of the world, it is an unwritten rule, signed by the seminal fluids you partake in delivering upon your partner, that once she is pregnant with your child, you are her bish. Whatever the guardian growing your own child requests of you, you deliver, and you deliver adamantly. Her comfort and safety is literally what is required for your child to actually be birthed safely and healthy. I mean, this dude is frustrated that she is constantly needing help. Oh man, what a burden you live with. Spending the next 9 months having to take care of someone with your recently drained balls. Certainly nothing in compared to the person whose body is literally going through something that some women die from. To make matters worse, some people are highlighting some of his little comments he's made. Apparently this is also a high-risk pregnancy, and 2 of the times they went there was a legit medical problem. Once because she fainted, other she was having early contractions. Yes, turns out he originally had that in the original post, but then deleted it because obviously realizing that, oh, it's too much evidence that he's an a-hole. I'll just leave the evidence of these comments exposing how much of just a terrible partner this guy is being right now, but look, I'd understand if this story was more of a rant, a vent of sorts, saying, hey, look, I'll be honest, this is stressful and exhausting trying to always be there for my partner. And you know what, buddy, you'd probably get a lot more sympathy in that regard. Instead, you posted in the subreddit that tried tries to give you some sort of outing as if you're totally fine to be disregarding your partner going through severe fear and pain over something medical professionals are telling her to be afraid of. Look, I think it's obvious this guy's a complete a-hole, but hey, for fun, good exercise lesson, guys. Let's play devil's advocate. Let me know why you think this person could not at all be the a-hole. I'll pin my favorite one. Now over to true off my chest for the most insane escalation over this. I am breaking up with my boyfriend over milk. I live with my boyfriend and we've had conflicts now for over 5 months because of milk. Approximately 6 months ago, I found out I'm lactose intolerant and it made me change all my diet to avoid stomachache and nausea, which is working pretty well. I do not expect my boyfriend to change his diet to accustom me. So we've been buying our own groceries to not impact one another. In my country, plant-based milk and lactose-free products are much more expensive, but since I love my cheese and milk, I buy it anyway. The problem is that my partner eats it all when I'm not home, doesn't replace it by buying more. I don't mind sharing food, but it's really disrespectful of him to not leave some for me. He knows lactose is something my stomach can't handle, but he still eats and drinks my products when I'm not around. It made us fight a lot of times, and it's been going on for 5 months until now. This morning, seeing less than 100 mils of my almond milk made me go absolutely crazy due to the fact I was more than 10 hours awake after my shift in the hospital and I just wanted some latte. He keeps saying it's not a big deal, but the fact he chooses to consume my stuff and refuses to admit his mistakes makes it unbearable. How my boyfriend treats me is absolutely outrageous, and it made me see that he doesn't treat me as an equal due to how many disrespectful things I've been enduring. I can't take it anymore. Now she makes some quick edits. One about buying a plane ticket to return to her parents' home. The soon-to-be ex-boyfriend thinks everything's okay since she's been quiet after he yelled at her saying that she was overreacting. Thankfully, she's gotten the all clear from work that she can work online from now on as well. So do you think this is someone who's overreacting? Maybe snapping finally for something that still arguably could maybe be explained a bit more thoroughly? Maybe the boyfriend genuinely doesn't see it's a big deal because he's not really been told in as much depth that she thinks he has. Either way, she still decides to go through with it, even writing a draft for us of the letter she's going to leave him. One other thing to note is, as they make in the edit, this is their first relationship, so obviously this is all new ground for her. To summarize the letter, it is pretty much explaining how they did love some aspects about him, but overall it's becoming clear that she is in a relationship full of red that she couldn't see due to her rose-tinted glasses. My favorite nickname that you gave me was Doll, but now it makes me want to puke. The naive old me thought it was because you loved my dark hair and my love for pink, but now looking back, maybe it was because how dumb I looked just to please you by obeying every single word like a spell. I know deep in my heart you will blame me for the breakup or maybe the milk. None of these were the issue. You are the problem. Every time you disrespected me by consuming my almond milk was like someone slowly plucking petals because every single act of disregard made my love for you die. Honestly, this fate could have been prevented. We know where we are in each other's hearts. The only mistake was making you the priority when I clearly wasn't. Thank you for being my first. Unfortunately, you won't be my last. Goodbye.
Ouch!
Damn, they say at the top that English is their second language, but wow, they know how to use it better than I can. Though it may seem like it, this actually isn't the escalation part of this story. That comes later in the second update. For now though, we move to the next update that occurred 3 days later. The heist to move everything out of the place. Yesterday was a bit chaotic, so I didn't have the chance to log on Reddit. While my ex was at college, me and my 4 friends packed everything I bought over the years. The only thing I left behind was our engagement ring, photos, and the house keys. I left the heavy and big stuff at my friend's house and she will be shipping it to my parents' home. Bless her. I arrived during the night at my home city and my phone wasn't even on. So for several hours, peace was there for me. No more screaming, no more disrespect, and no more stolen milk. Today, when I finally turned on my phone, there was more than 74 calls from him. The messages were between begging me to come home and talk it out to threatening to expose my nudes, tell everyone about my ADHD, find me and make me regret. I am quite afraid of it, so I showed my parents these texts. We are planning to spend several days at our beach home in another state until it is safe to get a police report. Don't know what will happen after I file a report since our country, Brazil, the police is a failure. So at first for OP, everything seems rather fine, rather safe. They've escaped safely until 9 days later they came back. And I will warn you, there was an attempt of kidnapping. In my last update, I told you all about traveling to my beach house in Bahia and it saved my life. Here is awesome. I missed being being sun-kissed and having so much fun at the beach. As I mentioned before, traveling to my family's beach house was what kept my life since my ex-boyfriend wanted to fulfill his promises of bringing me home at whatever cost. Before leaving, I told the building administration that my ex is not allowed to enter the condominium since he's a threat. This morning, my parents received a call from the doorman saying they called the police because my ex-boyfriend showed up and tried to find me. He was able to enter since I forgot to delete his Face ID. Fortunately, this monster was stopped at the reception. At first, he tried to talk to the staff saying it was all a misunderstanding and we're back together, but they asked for proof, and this idiot couldn't even provide for it. He became very violent and tried to attack the staff, so they called the police. When they started searching him in his bag, it was found a pair of knives, gloves, and plastic bags. Now he's in the preventive detention. I am still shaken up at the possibility of me being murdered by him, so this will be my final update since we will be suing him. The fact that it was all caused by milk is really shocking because it made me see that the man I almost married is a monster. Thank you all for the support and advice. I don't know why, but my comments aren't showing up, but I want to say I'm really grateful for everything. So yeah, that is rather dark and twisted escalation from just literally milk. Thank goodness this woman was able to get out before being tied down to this monster. Well, my friends, I think we'll end today's stories there. Thank you as always for watching. If you made it this far, then congratulations, you've won absolutely nothing. And in a world full of everything, having nothing is truly unique. Anyway, I'm a skip away now like a dainty little butterfly in a field of flowers. So you be good, love your face, drink some water, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!